right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is that time again. Good morning and welcome back to fishing. So it is early July. I don't even know the date off the top of my head, but yeah, we are back out of upstate. We're doing some saltwater fishing today. Make no mistake, there's still more freshwater stuff coming from that Finger Lakes trip, but I figured I would stagger it out between fresh and salt as to appeal to all of the possible audiences. I don't want to isolate any one group, but you can expect that over the weeks I'll be posting, I'm hoping, 2 videos a week, with at least one being fresh and one being salt, for at least the next 4 or so weeks. That being said, the goal right now is to launch the kayak and get on some jigging action. We're going to be fishing in Montauk today. I have my summer recess from my job, so we got some time to fish. I tell you what, we're going to have some storms later this week, so this might be my best opportunity. I have to work tomorrow, my side hustle. But that being said, we're going to probably fish some heavier weight than we've been fishing when we were last in New York City. Likely no less than 1 ounce, and we will be fishing bucktails, potentially just plain jig heads. We'll read the conditions. I'm hoping it's not too windy right now. I do notice a little bit of breeze, but it looks like the forecast is manageable. I don't know. If it's no good where I'm looking first, we'll go someplace where I think it'll be a bit more sheltered, and hopefully we can get that to work for us. So we will find out soon, so do stay tuned because we're about to get some fishing accomplished. All right, we're making our way out. It's a little bumpy, but it's nothing we haven't dealt with, as long as it doesn't get too much worse than this. We should have a good tide. I think we got another hour left of incoming. It's gonna peak, and then we got outgoing. Let me show you what I'm gonna fish with. Right now, it's essentially the same setup we were fishing upstate, or in New York City, depending on which videos you watch. We have our Shimano Stratic C14 3000 paired with the St. Croix Mojo Inshore medium strength fast action. Very versatile setup, inshore or in the boat, jigging, casting, etc., as long as you don't get too heavy with it. We're going to start with a 1 ounce Spro bucktail. I got a red and white, though I prefer white, but this is what I can get in a pinch. This might be a little light, but we're going to give it a shot. I'd rather start too light than start too heavy. We're going to try not to do any teaser, but we'll see how that goes. It's been a while since I fished here, so I'm not exactly sure what or how many fish we're going to encounter, but we will call that as we see it. All right, let's make our way out there, and I'll bring you back in when we get there. All right, we're pretty much at the spot right now, so we're going to start with this 1 ounce bucktail and a 4-inch gulp swimming mullet. Hopefully 1 ounce will hold. If not, we'll up to a 1.5, and I'm sure that'll do the trick. We have a little wind against tide, so we're going to pedal into the wind to try and have a more favorable drift and to navigate some of this chop. All right, let's see what we can do. A little squirrely out here, but nothing we can't deal with. Nothing we haven't done before, or much, much worse. There's a bite. Come on. Still there. You got it, buddy. So this is the problem with sea bass, because I'm pretty sure that's what I got a bite from. They will nip the tail off, and then your bait is useless. All right, we just got hung up and lost our bucktail. There's a lot of structure around here, which is a good thing, except for when things like that happen. Fortunately, I brought a bunch of spares. So let's get back down. It seems like 1 ounce is doing the trick for now. Once the tide really starts moving, though, especially when the winds, especially if this wind stays in the same direction, it might not be the case, because we'll have wind and tide together, and we'll be moving. But right now, we'll stick with the 1 ounce. Go as light as we can. Might even be able to downsize to 3/4, but with 50 to 60 to even 70 feet of water, we'll stick with 1 ounce. It's pretty versatile. Got him. What do we got? Sea bass, maybe? Oh yeah. What'd I tell you? Well, it's no problem getting these guys. They just need to be bigger than this. Can fin you pretty good, so you gotta be careful, but it's a pretty cool fish. All right, we just got the skunk out of the boat. Little sea bass, little sea biscuit. No problem with sea biscuit. We just want to get a little, we just want to get some bigger sea bass. So let's get it back down there and see if we can find his great granddad. Tide's essentially slack right now, so we're going to downsize just to a jig head. It's probably about 3/4 ounce. Get down to the bottom and see what we can do. Come on. All right, he's on there. Got him that time. That's a better fish. Probably a good sea bass. Yeah, it's definitely a sea bass. Feels good. This feels like dinner. It's either a big sea bass or a big sea robin. We know it can't be a double either, so that's the cool thing. Good fish. Oh yeah. Yeah, we'll take you. That's dinner. Let's not get them wrapped up in the net. Boom. Look at that. That's more what we're looking for. Nice hump head. On the single jig. Not even the bucktail. It's as easy as that. All right, finally getting on some of those sea bass. Check them out. Pretty fish. Measure, he's not huge, but he's easily big enough. I mean, if you go to the tip of the tail, it's about 18 inches, and not the tip, about 17. They have to be 15, and you're allowed to keep 3 of these until sometime in September. So let's bleed this guy out, and then we'll get him on ice. All right, let's see if we can get another sea bass, or fluke, or anything, honestly. Tide, I just looked up, is, wow, that did not take long at all. That's a fluke. That's a big fluke, I think. That's a more big sea bass. As soon as he hit the ground, could be a big fluke. Big fluke or big sea bass. But yeah, the tide just switched over. It's gotta be a big sea bass. And yeah, now the tide and the wind are gonna be working together. I think it's a sea bass, I don't know. Now it's feeling like a fluke because he's not doing much. But he's digging like a sea bass. Whatever it is, it's gonna be good. If we can catch him. Big old sea bass. Big old sea bass, probably bigger than the last one. Oh boy, yeah. All right, look at that. Another solid one. He's like the same exact size as the other one. I might regret this later, but this guy is like just maybe an inch shorter than the other one. I'm gonna let him go. We got a lot of time to fish. Maybe we can get some bigger ones. Hopefully it wasn't a mistake to let that other sea bass go. We got a lot of time left to fish, so I'd like to keep my options open. You know, that one that we got in the bag's 18 inches. That one was probably like 17 and a half. It was a little shorter. It was thicker, but shorter. But I'm hoping to keep maybe like a 19 or 20 inch one. It's gotta be bigger than the one in the bag if we're gonna keep it. Come on. Oh, dang. Come back, come back, come back. You weren't even hooked that long. Yeah, he's back, he's back, he's back. Sea biscuit. And he's off. Let's see if we can get him back. These fish are aggressive. He's back. And he's gone. He's already back, but we're tangled. Come on, come on. Not now, not now. Come on. This might be a different one. It's coming up kind of dead. It might be a fluke. I don't think so, though. Nope. Big old biscuit. Oh, that's a nice one. We might have to leave with you. Lip them up like a largemouth. Nice fish. tear the crap out of my finger. Yeah, that's a solid one. Fins. Hello to you. Again, you're nice. If you're over 18, I'll keep you. Yeah, you're a 17.5 incher. You're a class of 2022 fish for me. So here in New York until September, you're only allowed to keep 3 of these sea bass over 15, and we've already gotten 3 keepers, all of which were like 17 to 18 inch fish. But since I consider it's likely I'm going to be catching more of these than anything else today, we might as well leave that slot open. So we're trying to get something that's at least 18 or 19 inches, because while these fish look really nice, and they are, a lot of them is a lot of their body is head, so you're not going to get a lot of fillets off these fish. So you really want to try and get one that's on the larger side if you're trying to fill a meal. And there are a lot of them. It's not like screwing over the fishery to keep the big ones. There are so many of them. Something's playing with it. Grabs it, spits it, grabs it, spits it. Got him that time. Here we go again. Another biscuit. Sea bass. Go. Oh, come on. Here we go. Coast Guard check time. How's it going? Yep.
Yep. How long ago was it?
Wait, say it again. I'm sorry. No, not this season. Okay, so in this part of the video, this is something that happens pretty much every year if you're a kayak fisherman on the ocean in an area where the Coast Guard is. Right now I'm being checked, my vessel, to make sure that it's in compliance with all the safety regulations that are needed for, you know, being out in the water. So this is the Coast Guard doing their job. Nothing wrong here. They're checking to make sure that I have all my necessary gear and that, you know, I'm doing wise things, not showing up without personal flotation device, whistle, all that stuff. This is something that only happens really once a season unless you're going all over the place, but I've only been checked in Montauk despite all the other places that I've fished. And they're nice guys, so again, if you're in this situation, it won't take super long. You'll be back on the water in no time. Just do what you're told and you'll, you know, have a painless experience. But yeah, let's get back to it. So I didn't know it at the time, but basically after that Coast Guard visit, the bite just took a total nosedive. I was still getting bites and the tide was moving, which was confusing me. Like, we had a good drift, maybe a little bit too fast, to be honest, because we were wind and tide together. But regardless, I was getting a lot of just little bites, and all I could really connect with was one of two things, just small sea bass and sea robins. And this went on for like a good 2 or 3 hours, as you're seeing in the video right now. It took quite a while to get over this, but eventually we did finally get on the action after a very long lull. Got him. There we go, that's a good fish. I think it's a good sea bass. Alright. Took hours, but we're back on something half decent. Oh wow, yeah, that's a good one. Barely hooked too. Jeez. Should probably net him. We're gonna get very risky business because we're lazy. Alright, that's number 2. If only we kept one of those fish earlier, we'd have an easy limit right now. That's a hunk right there. Not going to make the same mistake twice. We're going to bleed this guy out and see if we can get one more, and we'll probably call it at that. All right, let's see if we can eke out one more keeper sea bass. It's going to be a grind probably, or maybe it won't. I don't know. Let's try and make it happen now. All right, here we go. Let's try and end this soon. Haven't eaten anything all day. Meant to bring us, well, right away. Meant to bring a snack. That's a fluke. What do you know? 11th hour fluke. I don't think it's any big enough, but it's a long wait for a fluke. Nah, you're not even close. Alright, well, maybe the bite will finally turn on. Alright, so as we were saying, before that fluke interrupted us, yeah, I don't want to fish that much longer. I haven't eaten anything today. I definitely am ready for some food. I had a snack in the car, but I completely forgot to put it in the kayak, so I'm ready to call it. But I'd really like to get at least one more fish to take home, because 2 sea basses is just a little bit shy of what I want for a meal. So if we can get a fluke or a sea bass, that'll do it. So let's give it the old college try. Yes. Yes, let's just end this. That's good. Oh no, that was a good fish. That was either a really big sea bass or maybe a big fluke. Probably sea bass. Come on, come back. Oh, why? That was a really good fish. That's definitely not the same fish, but it's good. All of a sudden the bite is on again. It's good. Yeah, you've got some pull to you. Yeah, that should do it. That'll do it all right. I mean, I could get a bigger sea bass, but we don't know if that fish will ever come, so that'll be number 3. That's the best sea bass today, I think. It's at least the size of that first one we got. Definitely don't want to get finned by these guys. Look at that hump head. All right, cool. Let's get them bled out. We'll try fishing for just a little bit longer, see if we can get a fluke or a bigger sea bass, but we'll have to throw it back. All right, we righted the wrong this morning. We got our 3 keeper sea bass, probably about the same size, thereabouts, as the ones that we let go. I'm gonna hit that drift maybe once or twice more just to see if there's some fluke around. I got 15 minutes left of fishing in me, unless the bite is just off the hook. I've already got my sea bass limit, so if we're just getting sea bass, it's a bit redundant. I might try and sneak out tomorrow morning, see if we can get one more limit to really hammer home a dinner. I don't know, but let's see if there's any fluke around, because we did get that one short. All right, we got our limit. Let's see if we can get a fluke. There we go. Might be a fluke. That's a fluke. Finally found the fluke. All right. Took long enough. Oh yeah, big old sea biscuit. I think it's a sea bass. Yeah, it's sea biscuit. Well, I'm glad I didn't contemplate keeping you, because you're probably like an on-the-line keeper. Not today. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's a good fish. That's a giant sea bass, I bet. I don't even know if he knows he's hooked. Now he does. Yeah, you're about in line with the other ones. I'll see you tomorrow. It's not quite like lipping a largemouth. They got a lot of teeth. A little smaller than the other guys. Come on, buddy. Right, now that we found fish again, we're just stacking up these sea bass. Of course, we have to let most of them go, or basically everyone from here on in go until tomorrow. But maybe, just maybe, there'll be a fluke mixed in, or something else. Not to mention, I mean, just because I can't keep them doesn't mean it's not fun to catch them. It'd be awesome to catch like a 4 or 5 pounder, even if I did have to let it go. Ooh, what do we have here? That's a fluke, I think. That's a fluke. This could be a keeper fluke too. You don't feel that heavy anymore, but for a second there, it's definitely a fluke. Well, a few years ago you'd be a keeper. By a few, I mean many. Ugh. Best fluke of the day, though. No denying that. See ya. Oh man, I think I know what that is. That's a good fish. If this is what I think it is, we're done as soon as we get him in the net. This is a big fish. Big fish. Wow, this is something really heavy. I mean, he could be foul hooked, and it's been a while. Whew, here we go. Here we go, buddy. If this goes down, it was all worth it. It was all worth it to let go of those shorts. If it leads to me getting a really solid fluke right now. I'm not sure how solid it is, but it's a keeper, I know that. It might be a big one too. Just you wait. And if it is a big one, we're done. It's not small, I'll tell you that much. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you, buddy? There you are. Oh yeah. Not gigantic, but it's easily a keeper. That's how we're ending today. That's at least 5 pounds. All right. Thank goodness we held out. Folks, that's solid fish right there. Let's get a quick shot while he's still all colored up, and then we'll get an official measure. All right, solid 23, 24 inch fluke thereabouts. We'll get an official measure soon. Probably in the neighborhood of 4.5, 5 pounds. Yeah, solid. Let's get him measured up, and we'll get him home for dinner. Let's get the pump board. This fish is about 23 inches, so 4.5 pounds probably. Solid. And we only go up from here. All right, we got that fish stringed up. We're bleeding him out. We got to try that at least once or twice more. It's just been getting better and better. And if that fish is there, there could even be a much bigger fish there. I know I keep trying to say I'm about to finish, but I'm not leaving these fish after grinding for so long just to get nothing. Let's try it again. As per usual, every time I try and leave, I just get sucked right back in. Another fluke. We're on the fluke finally. Took all day, but we found him. Little guy. Yep. Yeah, don't mind that guy in the water. He won't bother you. Okay, so ends another session. Definitely a tale of two different types of fishing. This morning it was just red hot, one fish after another, and we foolishly let go of those two keeper sea bass. But ultimately it was a good thing, because had we not done that, I don't think I would have stuck it out long enough to get that fluke at the end. So I guess if there's any lesson to learn, it's don't count your chickens before they hatch. But in a way, I did get those chickens back, because I got those two sea bass later. But anyways, aside from that, I guess the other big takeaway was, I don't know if it was just the timing or if it was the reason, but it seemed like most of the fish I was getting were not going for the bucktail. They were going for, you know, just the plain jig head with the gulp. It's almost as if they wanted that smaller profile, which doesn't surprise me. The only issue is obviously when that tide is ripping in like 60, 70 feet of water, it's gonna be very hard to get, you know, ½ ounce down at the bottom. I fish very thin diameter line. I'm fishing 10-pound test braid, which I think has the diameter of 2-pound test. So when the tide isn't running too hard, I can totally manage it. But you know, when it's rushing like it was, especially with the wind pushing against us, forget it. So to be continued. Otherwise, a pretty fun session. We got on some solid fish. I'll leave links in the description for the main gear I used. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button as always. Catch you in the water soon. As always, have a great day and goodbye from fishing.